Hey guys, welcome to K Talks TV. It is Tuesday, July 22nd, and we have an update about the unfortunate, untimely passing of Malcolm Jamal Warner. Now, Malcolm Jamal Warner was on a family vacation in Costa Rica, on the Caribbean side of Costa Rica, Limon, if I'm pronouncing that correct. And he on Sunday he went for an early morning swim. According to his wife, he was with his 8-year-old daughter, where he apparently got caught up into a riptide. Um, and he unfortunately drowned. Now they're saying that they were two surfers that saw that him and his daughter were struggling in the water and went to help. They were able to save his daughter and uh, bring her back to shore. And they also brought Malcolm Jamal Warner back to shore, and I think another surfer. And somebody was doing CPR on him for about 45 minutes, but unfortunately, he had passed away anyway. And it's just really unfortunate because I know for myself, growing up watching the Cosby Show, that family was like our family, whether you can relate directly to them, if you came from a middle class two parent household, or if you didn't come from a middle class two parent household and you may have come from a single parent household, and you wished that you had a life like the Huxtable kids, where you had mom and dad, they were both professionals, they were both college educated, you had your grandparents involved. It was like um wonderful being able to grow up and see that on Thursdays. You would rush home, and I think the Cosby Show came on at 8 o'clock, and nobody would be outside because everybody would be inside watching the Cosby Show. I'm looking online, and somebody said, it's like losing one of us. This is the thing with television. When you're watching people every week on television, you think you know them and you're related to them. And also, Malcolm Jamal Warner was so unproblematic. You never really heard any type of scandals, um, just anything negative. His mom was Beth Ann Hardison. She used to be a model in her day, and she opened up her own modeling agency for African American models. uh, I guess I don't know if he was still on the Cosby Show, but I know he had got into making music videos. He could dance. He once hosted Friday night videos with Bobby Brown. Um, we watched him grow up on television. Then he had the show Malcolm and Eddie. I think he had another show with Tracy Ellis Ross. He was just a great example of what a black man should be and could be. He was married and had a child, which I didn't even know that Malcolm Jamal Warner was married, because apparently he was very private about his marriage and his children, which there's nothing wrong with that. He was 54 years old. He looked very good for his age, and just a positive all around guy. Um, when he was on the Cosby Show, he did not. They didn't present him as a thug. He was just, that boy next door. And I'm sure that we all knew a young man like Theo Huxtable, a good kid, going to school, doing what he had to do. Came from a good family. ultimately that type of young man would have went off to college, grow up, get married, and be a good father like Dr. Huxtable, it's just really unfortunate. It's sad. I think the last time I felt like this about a celebrity death, it was with the passing of Bernie Mac. And Bernie Mac was, in that same vein, a good guy, good black man, good father figure with the Bernie Mac show. You never heard any negative reports about Bernie Mac. You never heard anything about infidelity. Him and his wife had their one child, their daughter, and he was just like the new version of the Bill Cosby, like America's dad, with the Bernie Mac show. We give our condolences, and just R.I.P. to Malcolm Jamal Warner. He's leaving behind an excellent legacy. His body of work speaks for itself. Like I said, never any negativity about this man, never any drama, no drug use. And, you know, that's not always the case for child actors in Hollywood and child entertainers. We have bore witness to so many child actors and you know child entertainers where it doesn't always turn out this way for them. So RIP to Malcolm Jamal Warner. And as the updates come in, I'll come back and bring you guys any updated news. And, you know, of course, they're going to be planning his funeral, and it's just really unfortunate. But God bless and may he rest in peace. Like, comment, share if you care. And until we chat again, guys, bye.